All right.
$50 bill. Yeah,
Welcome to this episode of Runs0b3r podcast. This is episode number
Número 14.
15.
15.
15.
Oh, stop.
15.
15, cara.
And today, our guest is Mr. Justin Weed,
What's up, y'all? The Ghost Runner.
the Ghost Runner
on Instagram.
on IG. He's the Ghost Runner. And so, a little bit about us. We are a Dallas, Fort Worth production, local podcast. We do not only discuss running and sobriety, but all walks of life. For every one of us has a unique story. The journey begins and ends with you. To the left of me is
Eric J. Henderson.
Eric Henderson. And my name is Brandon K. Veltman. All right. So today we're going to talk to Justin about basically where he grew up and if he's lived in the DFW his whole life or not. And we're going to talk about the 100-miler that you just finished and got a 24-hour buckle for. Well, you didn't just finish it, but
Right.
earlier this year. And and then we'll talk about what he has in the future on running and racing. So Justin, let us hear a little bit about your upbringing from childhood up.
Okay,
Cool.
All right,
All right.
cool. What's up, y'all? Justin David Weed here. I was born and raised in Mesquite, Texas, town, a little suburb, about 10 minutes east of Dallas. I had a strong Christian faith upbringing. Parents were raised in the same environment. Toward the end of high school, I started to get into partying. I saw friends at school that were talking about it, that were actually living it. You know, I would see it. You know, they'd be talking about like Monday morning in different classes, and it just really intrigued me. So I started, you know, kind of not really obeying my parents and their laws and what they desired out of like me and my sister, and that's really just when things started to go quote unquote downhill from there.
Oh, yeah.
And I started that roller coaster life, you know, of getting into, you know, drugs and alcohol and partying and whatnot, and all those environments, all those people. And I went to UNT for
Nice.
for a year. Here's the crazy thing: I graduated high school with a 3.67 GPA. After my first semester at UNT, I had a 0.5 out of a 4.0.
What happened?
Partying. I discovered partying, y'all.
Did you go to Fry Street?
Like you're able to front through
Yeah.
high school, I guess. Like still
Yeah.
partying, but you're able to, you know.
Well, I didn't get into partying until like I was towards the end of 18, towards like 19, and then
College.
and then I got to college, and it was like all hands on deck for partying for me. I really got it. I got into fraternities and then and then the second semester didn't fare too much well. It was a cumulative of like a 1.5. So I got active.
So you raised it from 0.5 to 1.5.
just a little bit.
That means you opened the book.
At least, yeah.
And it made that crack sound right in the spine. Like
I tried to make some sort of attempt, but it was already too late. So I got kicked out of college, out of UNT. I never went back to UNT. I came home. I moved back into my parents' house. They were, mind you, they were pissed as hell because they had spent all this money for me to go, you know, taking out loans for me to go to college. Came home and like they were like, what's up with these grades?
You wasted their money.
Yeah, they were highly pissed.
and the first semester is you're only 4 months and you come home like, whoa.
Right?
You're like, what happened? From night to day. They had no idea that was your disposition when you left high school.
Yeah.
Like you weren't partying during high school. They had no, they were like, What happened?
Right. Well, I was starting to get into partying a little bit. I was when I would tell them, "Oh, I'm going to a friend's
Yeah,
house,"
but they didn't know. Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
was trying to hide it,
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing a very good job of it. And even when my dad or mom would call me, and I was, I was at a party, I was at a bar, I was at the frat house. I would try to tell them, it's really noisy inside the cafeteria, or I'm outside somewhere, trying to make them not believe that I was out here partying.
Yeah.
And so after the first semester, after that whole year, then I went down to Eastfield College near Mesquite, and I was only there for like one semester. I didn't for too much.
Is Eastfield
That's
Dallas?
Dallas. That's a Dallas
College.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
It's one of those community colleges on the east side of town.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I was only there for a semester. I had a couple B's, some C's. Didn't have any A's, I don't think. And basically, I just was not finding my way in life. And so I picked up a job like working at like oil change place. Learning how to change oil on cars.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was still acting out, I was still partying. I was still coming home late.
Mm-hmm.
Like waking up my parents,
Yeah.
just not being respectful to their rules in their house.
So what really excuse me, what was it, were you an addict at this time, or you were just a weekend warrior? Did you start using every day?
Well, it definitely started to ramp up. I started getting into, the more and more that I was around these people in these environments, in these situations, the more and more I got deeper into drinking a lot more, experimenting. I started with black and milds, and then that led to some cigarettes here and there.
Yeah.
That led to being around marijuana. That led to being around eventually cocaine, ecstasy, different kinds of pills, uppers, downers,
And the same people you were around, right? And so the people actually graduate you into, like, the same people didn't say, "Hey, here's coke."
Yeah.
But they's like, "Here's a black and mild, here's a cigarette."
Right.
Wow.
And I was even trying to hide black and milds in my bedroom at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And I was trying to hide it from them. And those reek a whole lot more worse than cigs. And my mom actually found some, and she actually found some pornography too.
Pornography
in my bedroom.
But I was wondering how the friends are the ones who will actually gently walk you into the path, as opposed, they know they have all that stuff in their pockets with the black and the miles.
Right.
Nah, just give them this right now.
Exactly.
And I don't even think it's so scripted. It's just like subconsciously, friends will walk you down that lane. So
Like, oh,
crazy.
here, it's fine, Justin. Just it'll give you a little, just take this hit right here off my forearm or off my wrist right here.
Yeah.
It'll help you perk you up. Okay, sure. So I was just curious, I was like, and then I did it, and I was like, oh wow, I want some more of that.
Yeah.
And then I don't feel like I ever got like where I was like have to have cocaine like on a consistent basis. It was just a party thing for me.
Right.
And I partied with it 20, 25 times probably at least, if not more.
Yeah.
As far as the drinking goes, it was definitely more than Friday and Saturdays. I mean, there were some Wednesday nights, there were some Thursdays, like waking up and highly hungover, intoxicated.
So were you working?
Yeah, I was actually I was working there, and then I was also working with my dad too in his landscape like maintenance business.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up. There was one morning I didn't wake up in time to leave the house with him in his truck, and it was 7:30 by the time I woke up. Daylight. I'm like, I realized I done missed my alarm.
Yeah.
He's already gone. There's no way I'm catching up. And when he got home, he was like, Justin, what happened last night? Why didn't you wake up?
Yeah.
And I was like, I got highly intoxicated last night, and I just could not wake up. And there was another time that I did wake up, and he suspiciously could thinking he could smell alcohol on me, and I was in the passenger seat. He was driving us, to go pick up his other crew guys, and we got to the first house. Everyone else got out the truck. He told me, "Stay put." He looked over to me and he was like, "I can definitely smell alcohol on your breath. There's no way that I'm going to safely let you use any of the equipment until you're sober up."
Yeah.
So I didn't get to touch any of the equipment for like in the first 4 hours that day until, he felt that it was safe for me to operate equipment.
Yeah.
And I was probably 20 probably.
As I was saying, you're 20 years old this time.
I was young, dumb, immature, just being stupid.
Your father was tolerating it. Like,
Yeah,
well,
he was showing me he and my mom showed me a ton of love, mercy, grace throughout this all these years, time and time. And it just, and they definitely did show me tough love at some points, and they showed me, the soft love too. It just when it was like needed and like warranted.
Right.
Yeah.
You said you have a sister, right?
I do. Yeah. Shannon is older by 18 months, I believe.
And did she fall down this negative path? Or?
No way, not at all. She is straight laced. Didn't have sex before marriage. Didn't touch any drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. Her whole life.
And you said you grew up in the church, right?
I did, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Were you still going to church?
Now, well, at that time,
He's 20.
At that time, I mean, my parents, like, they wanted me to attend church with them on Sunday mornings or Saturday nights. I just, I wasn't feeling it, I just wasn't, I wanted to try to, carve my own path instead of following what God had for me.
Right.
And, and that lifestyle went on. I chose that lifestyle for 20 plus years, probably off and on, just big, huge roller coasters. There were years when I'd straighten out and I would try to do better, but eventually I would like fall back in.
Yeah.
Come in, come out, come in, come out. It was so volatile. I literally saw my life flash before my eyes.
What was the reason for you going in and out? Why were you exiting? Because it was too much for you?
Sometimes I really haven't.
You wanted to clean up or something, and then you just couldn't? Or?
Yeah, basically, I felt like I was helpless. Like I didn't know how. I kept on losing jobs, and I got kicked out of the Air Force because of my drinking.
Okay.
I got all kinds of reprimands.
So how long were you in the Air Force?
I was in there for exactly a year, 4 months, and 26 days.
And then you got kicked out of there for drinking?
Drinking, not completing my career development courses, coming to work late, smell like booze. I had 2 Article 15s. I had letters of counseling, letters of reprimand, letters of admonishment.
So they gave you a chance to stay in.
Oh no, I made it a year at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, and then it was.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah. So I got through basic. I got through tech school, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now on the discharges in the Air Force, they have an honorable discharge, they have a general discharge under honorable conditions. I got that one.
Okay.
And then below that, you have dishonorable, bad conduct, court martials, things like that.
Yeah. And what sent you to the Air Force? I mean, is this something your parents wanted you to do, or you wanted it? What was the reason?
It was pretty much my dad told me he was just sick and tired of what I was doing in my life and how I was disrupting their lifestyle and waking them up and just creating all kinds of havoc, not knowing if I was going to make it home safe for one night or not, and getting a terrible call. So he basically told me either, because of the route that you're going, either we're going to send you to one of those treatment facilities, like I think it's Green Acres in like South Dallas, or you're going to have to join like one of the branches of the military. I certainly didn't want to go to the addiction treatment facility, so I took the ASVAB and I visited all the branches of the military, and I chose the Air Force because I felt that I just for some reason I was drawn to. I don't know what drove me to it, but maybe it was the
Planes.
planes. Yeah.
Like, gee.
And coincidentally, I have my aircraft mechanics license now, so I'm working on aircraft engines.
That's crazy.
Nice.
So
So you got something out of it.
I grew up
I
watching
did.
the Blue Angels, which is not Air Force.
I
but
love
that's Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds.
I love the
Blue
Blue
Angels
Angels.
is my deal.
Right. So I took the ASVAB. I scored a 67 out of 100. So it qualified me for, a certain specific jobs. I chose logistics. Basically, it's like ground warehousing.
Yeah.
Moving. I was part of a team at Ramstein where we moved all household goods, general cargo, but nothing hazardous, no missiles, no coffins or anything like that, because that's all special handling hazmat, just the general cargo going between all the different European bases.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I got.
Have you heard of the band Ramstein?
The band? Oh, yes, I have, yeah. Ramstein.
Yeah, Ramstein.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the Air Force Base you're talking about? Or no?
It's spelled I think almost identical, but it's obviously it's pronounced differently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you got that in well, you're out in a year, but you left with that much of an idea of training that you were able to pick up later in life.
Here coincidentally, I did not get into the mechanics in the Air Force. I got into I went to aviation mechanics school after I got out.
Okay.
And let me think, I got out in 2007. I went in 2005, got out in 2007, joined the aviation school in 2010.
We have one here
We do,
in Dallas.
We have one called Itty.
Itty?
It's in Irving. Like it's called Aviation Institute of Maintenance. They have there's another school, a different name up in Denton, U.S. Aviation. There's one out in Tarrant County Community College. That's a lot cheaper than the one that I went to in Irving. I didn't know about TCC because I didn't live over there at that time. I lived in Dallas, so I couldn't. If I would have known about that one at TCC, it's like it's only compared to the one I went. That's like $45,000. The one out in Fort Worth at TCC, that's like maybe tops 12,000.
Yeah, the same tuition as
Same tuition,
the other,
same degree, same everything. It's just a whole lot cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So who was paying for that? Your folks?
So, no,
Loans?
You took out loans?
I definitely had to take out loans after wasting all their money with my first stint through Eastfield and UNT. Then I had to.
That's the best loan you can take out in life. People hate on the education loans, but I'm like, what other purpose would you invest in other than yourself? And then number two, let's say you hit a hard time. You can say, they'll call you up and say, well, until you get a job, we'll suspend your payments. Or when you get a job, we'll make your payments according to your income.
Right.
Try that with your house. Try it with your car. They come and they get it.
Right.
So I hear a lot of people hating on education debt, especially people say, well, I went to school. I'm $100,000 in debt. I said, that's because you went to school on a discipline that you thought $100,000 in debt was worth it. And generally it's going to be.
Right,
You're
exactly.
a doctor or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like, so you can, it's an investment in yourself if you have to take the debt now. Paying it back
Yeah,
is
definitely.
your discipline. I mean,
Right. Yeah, so it was quite. So that was 3 years after I got discharged from the Air Force. I graduated in 2012 from the school, but I didn't get my full license because you have to take certain tests after you get out of the schooling so you can actually have the card, like the certificate. Well, I couldn't take the full test until 2014 because I got my first DWI in 2011, I believe.
Ooh,
and I had to finish probation first before the FAA could allow me to finish the testing. So I took this. I finally got finished with probation, and that DWI I should not have been driving at all. I was highly intoxicated. It happened on April Fool's Day, like opening day for Texas Rangers baseball. I didn't get to go inside the stadium. I was tailgating outside with people that I knew that were going to be out there. I felt obviously that I was fine to drive home.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously I'm not, because alcohol does that to your brain. It makes you think otherwise. And I just thought that I was safe. I wasn't. I got all the way from Arlington all the way to somewhere near Dallas, and there was a ambulance to the right of me. I was to the left of it, I believe, and I swerved over, and I didn't realize that I was doing this.
Wow.
And I sideswiped this ambulance.
Oof.
And as soon as I barely swiped it, then I swerved back over my lane. And that obviously woke me up, and I got back driving straight. What I didn't, I looked in my rearview mirror. There was a mesquite cop behind me. I'm like, oh snap! I realized what was behind me. So I'm straightened up. Well, I can't do anything about that now because he saw what happened. He's driving back in Mesquite from Dallas at like Jim Miller and 30.
Yeah.
So he follows me all the way up until the exit for like Galloway and Mesquite. Exit Galloway, come up to the 7-Eleven, right? Maybe 0.1 miles from my apartment. Boop, 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 boop. Pulls me over. I'm like, I know I'm getting pulled over because he's been following me.
Right.
So we pull inside the parking lot for 7-Eleven. There's an open container or there's open case in my passenger seat, and he asked for my driver's license, registration, insurance. I gave it all to him, and I knew immediately he could smell alcohol on me probably, and he could see it too. He was like, I can tell you've been drinking. Step out the vehicle. Yeah. I'm like, oh, freak. This ain't good.
Right.
This ain't good.
Yeah.
And to say this too, I'm not good with passing field sobriety test, even when I'm sober. I'm just not good at like coordination like that. I never have been. I don't think I ever will be. It's just part of it.
So this was already a DWI on you. And pending your license. Oh, this is the one that.
This is the one that got my license.
That had the 3-year delay because of
exactly.
Wow.
So he so I failed all the field sobriety tests. He arrested me. I got put in jail. I call my parents. To come get me. That was embarrassing to say the least too.
Yeah.
That was a very quiet ride back home.
Yeah.
And I had obviously like paid them back too for bailing me out. And got through all probation, got through the schooling, got my license in at the start of 2014. I applied for a mechanic job out in Arizona, in Kingman, Arizona. It's about 60 miles east of the California border. It's right where all those big lakes are, Lake Mojave, Lake Mead, Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu is where like college kids, come to party.
Right.
So it's only, Kingman is only maybe an hour and a half southwest of the Grand Canyon. So I made a couple trips on a Sunday morning up to the Grand Canyon. I went out on the big skywalk where you could look down and you're actually standing in the middle of the Grand Canyon. That was sick.
I didn't know they had that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've never been there. I used to live out near there in Phoenix. Yeah. I'd never been to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So I got out there. I did a year at Kingman Airline Services, and it's out there. The weather is very dry, so it doesn't oxidize the paint off the airplanes. And they use this airport and all the fields out there to store aircraft that aren't being used or they're not being flown, like inactive aircraft. So I got going out there. I had bought my own toolbox. I furnished all my tools and whatnot with the help of my parents too. I think they had bought my toolbox for me, and but as I got going, throughout the year that I was out there, it really wasn't everything I thought that aviation mechanics was going to be. It wasn't turning wrenches every single day. It was doing a lot of paperwork, a lot of there was a lot of just like in the beginning, like checking tire pressures, cleaning windows, taking tires off, relubing the bearings for the wheels, putting the wheels back on, doing oil preservations, but no actually like repairing engines, overhauling them, taking engines apart, from a whole engine down to piece parts. That's coincidentally what I've been doing at my job now for the past going on 2 years now. So after that contract ended and a bunch of the staffers got sent home packing because the company was downsizing some positions, I decided to go back home because I was like, well, I don't really think this is for me. I'm just gonna go back to changing oil on cars or like working in warehousing, which I'd done for a number of years. So I'd already packed up and was headed. I was actually driving back home in my car and my U-Haul behind me. And one of the staffers from the staffing company called me and was like, "Hey, we found a position. It's pretty much what you're doing out in Kingman, but in Mesa, doing the exact same thing." I'm like, if it's what I was doing just at Kingman, I'm not really interested. So I turned it down. I continued to keep on driving, moved back to Dallas. This is 2015.
Yeah.
I get back working at this oil change place in like Highland Park. And I was there for a couple years, maybe 6 months or so.
And you're a licensed aircraft mechanic at this point.
Yes, I'm a licensed aircraft
Choosing
mechanic.
to
Choosing to not get back into the field because I felt I got shafted, basically. I didn't feel that I got dealt, a good hand with.
You didn't want to wash windows, and you didn't want to do all this.
No, I didn't.
You did just maintenance, not repair. It was just all maintenance.
It was like preservation of aircraft, and I'm like, this ain't turning wrenches. I was filling logbooks out, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want to get my hands dirty. I want to be able to actually put my license on the line and like certified stuff to be good to go back on the aircraft.
Yeah, yeah.
So I from 2015 all the way up until 2023, I worked at FedEx part time.
Nice.
Then I got into working FedEx full time. I moved from Dallas out to Saginaw so I could work at their warehouse out there full time. In like May or the start of June 2023. So I moved from Saginaw. I got my I forgot this part. I forgot my second DWI September 4th of 2022. Okay. I got arrested, but I was 2/10 under the legal limit. But I didn't pass enough of the field sobriety test for the cop to feel I was safe to drive home. And I just finished working a overnight shift at FedEx on a Friday night into Saturday morning. I drove from Saginaw out to McKinney area, Frisco, McKinney area, to go to a former coworker's funeral.
Oh, Saginaw. I thought we were talking like Michigan. I'm like, you went out of state and came out.
Oh, no.
Saginaw, Texas.
Saginaw, Texas, just north of Fort Worth by about 10 minutes. And I'd seen a bunch of, I knew that a bunch of former coworkers were going to be at this funeral. We saw each other. We met up after the funeral was over and the burial, and we went out to like Twin Peaks or Hooters or somewhere out there, to go kind of just reconvene per se and just, talk about old times and whatnot. Well, we didn't get, and highly intoxicated. We weren't smashed drunk. We're just having a good time, Well, towards the end of the evening, it's, time for everyone to, go their separate ways and go back home. I get in my vehicle. It's like 10:30ish maybe. Mind you, I haven't been asleep because I got off work at like 7 in the morning on Saturday morning. I run for like, hour and a half after I got done, shower, and then I drive to this funeral.
So you started running at this time? You said you ran?
Yeah.
For an hour?
Yeah, I was running for, as soon as I got home on Saturday morning before I left to go to the funeral, I ran for like hour and a half.
Okay. So at this point, have you ran your whole life? Or
No.
Talk to me a little bit about your running.
Okay, so I started the running in like consistently. I got into running about 2017.
Okay.
And I'd always been an active kid. I played soccer for 12 years growing up in high school.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I wasn't no elite athlete. I was just a recreational type kid,
Yeah.
I played soccer. I played a season of baseball. Played 2 seasons of basketball.
Yeah.
I love disc golf. I'm not really all that great at disc golf, but I love disc golf. It's a fun sport. I used to play disc golf high and drunk as a kite.
Oh yeah, all of them do, don't they?
It was a blast.
Right.
And I'd done some running. Obviously, you have to qualify for in the Air Force and basic training on like a mile and a half or something.
Yeah.
So I did do some running, but nothing like what I do now.
Right.
And so back in 2016 to 17, I wanted to add something into my strength program or strength training in the gym. In comes running.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people on Facebook that were big into it. I just been around there for a number of years, and a couple of them were already in Dallas Dirt Runners, and that's kind of my first foray into. I didn't get into trail running first. I got into road running first. I wanted to just begin the journey. I didn't want to go straight into a marathon.
Just start running, whatever.
I just started to run, walk, whatever. I just wanted to be active, like more active outside the gym.
Yeah.
So I hit up a friend of mine, Shane Hodge. He and his wife had some nutrition clubs up in like the Wiley area, or they did, but they moved down south to San Antonio a few years ago. So he put me on Jeff Galloway's like run program. Do y'all know who that is?
I've heard of that. Yeah, he's a long time ago. LSD guy and
Yeah, definitely.
long, slow distance for the record. Folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
very. Yeah. And he, so we got so I started following this plan for running, and I discovered that I was really enjoying it. Run, walk, jog, straight running, and I got into. I started doing 5Ks, and then I signed up for my, a couple 10Ks, and I started realizing that I was like, I can actually run, pretty decently.
Yeah.
Not like super fast though. I'm not gonna like win races.
You're in the mix though.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it per se. And then I do Panther Island Pavilion half marathon in like 2019. I had like a 7:30 pace for the whole thing. I'm like, I really shocked myself. Like, I assume that's pretty quick, I didn't get tired.
Coming from not running.
From not running, I was like, all right, cool. So then I essentially, quote unquote, caught the running bug per se.
Yeah.
And then I think I'd already signed up for Dallas Marathon, or like the BMW Marathon, even before I finished that half marathon. I think that's how it went.
Nice.
And then so I ran that marathon. I had for my first marathon, I had bought the whole Forrest Gump running outfit because I already had the beard, but the outfit came with the hat, and then it came with the hair, or with the it came with the hair in the back, but it also had this beard. Yeah, the beard. Well, I already have the beard. So I'm like, well, I don't need to wear that. I just need the hat with the long hair in the back.
Right.
And it had the yellow shirt. It had the red shorts. I wasn't wearing the what did they wear back in the day? The Converses or the
maybe.
Was I don't remember.
Kids.
Was it kids or kids?
Kids.
Yeah, kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing those. There's no way. So I actually wore. I think I wore Hocus for my first marathon. I had these two little neon things for my like running belt.
Yeah.
Did he have short pants? I forget in the movie. He had short red pants.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And I ran my first marathon in like sub 4, like 3:58.
Nice.
I sent my
Jenna, I ran in my Hokas, Jenna.
Jenna.
They're not kids, they're Hokas. They made me run fast, Jenna.
Check this out. Mom always said life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah,
You never know what you're gonna get. So I texted that, or I sent a screenshot to my brother-in-law Woody because he's a runner too. And I think he had done a marathon at that point as well. He's like, that's pretty substantial for your first marathon to be under 4 hours.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yep. Big accomplishment.
Right.
Killed Oprah.
There you go.
People laugh at that, but
That's
she ran.
Eric's.
She ran. No, I'm not laughing at her. She ran a 4:20.
Really?
On 5 months training. Is that not respectable?
That is respectable. 5 months training.
I ran, and then that same season, somebody gave me an entrance to the New York Marathon. I already run some good marathons, like 3:15, then down 2:53. But I didn't have any training.
Yeah.
And I was like, 30 days. I got to beat Oprah. Yeah. Can I beat Oprah in 30 days?
I love it.
You ain't running if you don't beat Oprah.
Right.
You rocked it.
Right. I did. Yeah. So after I did that, I'm getting more involved into this into the running groups on Facebook, and I asked Shane, so is there something beyond, something triggered? I don't know what it was, but I asked him, is there something beyond the marathon distance? He's like, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
This is your brother. I'm no DDR. The Dallas Dirt Runners guy.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, please, thank the Lord heavens that you asked."
Does the name Dirt in my name mean anything?
Right. So
I'm running in your front yard, son. We done.
So then he opened up. He started talking about the 50K. Oh, it's like the heavens.
Yeah, nice.
The light has shined down.
Word up, yeah.
So and so we started talking about anything beyond a marathon, all the way up to like 100-miler at that point. And I just kind of fell in love with it. I was like,
When was this? How old were you?
Let me see. That was in 2020, I believe, or 19.
Yep.
So I'm 41. We're in 2025. So that's 6 years ago. So I would have been 35.
So you came out of like 15 years of just the randomness of going in and out of drinking heavy DWIs, and then starting to make a way, but without like some major pivot. It's just I'm just gonna keep moving. Is that how it worked?
Pretty much, yeah. I was trying to do better.
What influences? Okay, yeah.
What
would keep you saying I'm gonna try to do better? Just a life instinct, or
basically, yeah. I was tired of living that way. Now I wasn't
that life.
Tired of being tired.
Tired of that raggedy life.
I was tired of being tired. It's like I just want to start doing better in life.
Dude, ratchet life is
right?
expensive, and
it starts getting
tiring.
It starts getting you in trouble in places that you don't want to be in trouble in.
Yep.
And
so did you on the second DWI? Did you have to serve any time? Did you have to anything or no?
I didn't do any prison time or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's I spent two.
No county or anything.
No,
like that?
I was in Keller City Jail.
Keller.
Yeah, Keller.
Oh, okay.
I got arrested September 4th on like a Saturday night, and then I bonded myself out using a credit card on Sunday morning.
Yeah, and did they put you on probation again?
Yes, put me on probation again. Yeah.
Did you have to go to any kind of alcohol treatment program or anything?
I did a couple of
outpatients.
I did a couple of like
IOP?
AA meeting. I didn't do any outpatient stuff or inpatient stuff. I just did the AA. I just did the couple of AA meetings. I got my sheet signed off saying, "Hey, I was here."
Right.
I did some community service, I think, or I may have got that waived. Actually, I don't remember, but it was a lot less cheaper than the first the first DWI. A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So they don't stack those against you within a period of.
They do. If you get 3
years,
you go to jail.
If you get 3 or more, I believe, I think you have potential
within any amount of time, or within
time.
5 years, 10 years.
Yes,
I think you do.
and then you go to federal.
That's what I'm saying. But 3 within 10 years, or 3 within 3 years, and
3 within a lifetime, I think.
a lifetime.
Yeah.
So you're 30.
I would think so. Yeah, because that means you never learned.
Yep, exactly. You're
15 years down the line, you do it.
Essentially, in their eyes, you're not.
You've been escaping from the law for the whole time.
You're not rehabilitated, or you're not able to be like rehabilitated because you're like a
public risk, I guess.
You're like a habitual offender. Yeah. So I got.
So are you drinking at this time?
I believe. Let me think. Yeah, I was not anything like I was in the past, but I may have a beer here and there.
But did you learn your lesson about driving while you were drinking, or you just continue to do that too?
I was still continuing to do that too.
Okay.
Now, and I wasn't drinking and driving like I was in my 20s. I may have like one beer at the bar, and then.
But that's all it takes.
It just takes.
Yeah.
It just takes one. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
It literally.
You said that you would fail. Field sobriety test. Sober.
Yeah. So I'm not.
All they had to do was pull you over.
Yeah, that's all they had to, that's all they had to do.
Yeah.
And so so I did my first. Me and Shane mapped out our own 50K course around his neighborhood, and we used his nutrition club as our aid station career area, and we did our own 50K there in 2020, I believe. Like in February of 2020, And then from there, we signed up for, I think, a 52 miler, and that was during COVID. We signed up for the Possum Revenge 52 miler. Virtual, we couldn't attend, so we mapped out a course around Lake Hubbard, and we literally ran all the way around Lake Hubbard for 52 miles. We started in Saxe, went all the way down to the very southern tip, going near in Sunnyvale, and then went all the way back up through Mesquite, Garland, Rowlett, and back up into like Wiley area.
You said 52 miles?
That's a nice tour.
So you were you just seeing what the body could take?
Pretty much,
Is that what you were trying to do?
Right. I was just seeing how far can the mind, body, and spirit go, and I was just really intrigued about this long distance endurance stuff. It just really plagued my mind, or just it really piqued my interest for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the community and the people at that time. We hadn't really got a chance to get to be around a ton of the community because of COVID and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we I think it was 2020, I believe, or 2021, one of the two, that me and my buddy Matt Cook, I met him. I think I met him through DDR2 actually.
Yeah.
He was already. I think he had already done some marathons, and he was already getting into the ultra scene. Well, so I realized I asked or he asked on the DDR page, hey, who lives near like Rowlett, because he lived in Rowlett, so he was near like Rowlett Creek Reserve, and who wants to get in some runs out there?
They got trails there?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, pretty. I mean they're not steep or anything, but they're extremely
1 and 2 mile type.
Yeah, well, I think the longest route was maybe 7 miles out there, and it's not really technical at all. It's pretty flat. Just it's cool.
Suburban trail.
Yeah. So me and Matt, we meet up, become good buddies. We have similar backgrounds too with drinking, sobriety, and he's had an incredible weight loss journey. At this point already, he comes from history of depression, suicidal attempts and whatnot. So. Like me and him bonded a lot because
Are you still friends with him today?
Oh yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh, is he part of the run community?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever met him before.
You probably haven't. I don't think.
Okay.
He's currently. I think he's in Switzerland right now with his girlfriend on vacation.
Nice.
So me and him start doing a lot of training runs together, and we signed up for. It was a virtual run. It was going to be down in, it's not San Felipe. It was going to be down El Taco Loco. El Taco Loco, I don't know if that was a Tejas trail run or if that was somebody else, but it was going to be near San Antonio. Well, they had, because of COVID, this company had moved the trail or that race to a virtual side. We had signed up to do the 100K because I'd already done a 52-miler virtual. The next, distance up, I guess, I'm trying to go in progression of distance, going up to 100K now, 62.1 miles. And I signed up. I told him, we signed up, and I didn't realize that the company had not moved the 100K over to the virtual side, but I didn't. I didn't really look at that closely, and we wanted to still run this race, so we started looking at various parks around the metroplex around the state, all the way from East Texas all the way down to Cleburne, Downell Valley, up in Texarkana somewhere. We wanted to do the race, have like all the aid station foods and laid out, try to make it as similar to an in-person race as possible. And we wanted to do it the same weekend as they were going to hold it in person too. Well, the only park that we found was at Cleburne State Park. We'd never been at the Cleburne before ever.
Oh boy.
and this is and others, I guess, that have already have been out there in years past. They know it's extremely
tough trail.
It's a very tough trail to run and hike and whatnot. Well, we had just seen pictures and videos, so that's all that we were basing our preview on. We got out there and on Friday, and set up camp and whatnot. Him and my buddy Shane came with us too to help crew us, and then he jumped in for the last marathon distance of it to finish it off with us. Well, Friday, they had gone up into the trail a little bit to check out the scene, and they were like, "Justin, be ready for it. It looks pretty treacherous." And I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go."
It's a better one to attack without the knowledge.
Right, exactly.
If you knew what you were getting into there, you'd be like, "Yeah, I know 50 miles."
Yeah. So we so we got started Saturday morning, and we finish at around. I think we finished in like just under 23 hours. Well, so that's done, right? And I'm thinking that we finished under like the virtual time limit to get our medal or the buckle or whatever. He tells me a few days later, he checks the website. Justin, you know that we're not going to get anything for that because the company did not move the 100K distance over to the virtual side. So we did all that just for kicks and grins, just for training. And when I posted that we did this on the DDR site, a lot of the experienced runners that have run out there a lot, their jaws hit the floor. Like, y'all did what for your first 100K at Cleburne?
Yeah,
are you out of your minds? That's insane. I'm like, well, we finished. It was pretty wretched. So to get kind of get a retribution for that run. We signed up for. He was already signed up to do Down Valley 100K like 6 weeks later.
Right.
I was like, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we went out to Down Valley. Thank God that we brought our own water because it got so hot that year. People were dropping like flies in the middle of the day.
Yep.
And
Right.
It was 2021, I believe. Or it was 2020 or 2021, like one of the 2 years. I get the years confused now. And we so we finished this race. We PR'd by like 5 hours. We had a just under 23 hour for the self-supported 100K at Cleburne, and like just under 18 hour for the 100K at Down Valley. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So the next step would have been the 100-miler, right? Naturally, right?
Right.
So me and him both sign up for the 100-miler at Rocky Raccoon in 2021,
which is for October, is it?
That's in like what, February? That's in February.
Yeah, like the 1st of February.
So you had already so you gotta go through the winter and then.
Yeah.
It's 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Matt and me, we, start buying up all the things, that we're going to need: nutrition, clothes, everything we can think of to get us to this 100-miler, right? We get down to, I think we got a hotel room. Yeah, we got a hotel room just outside the state park. He finishes in sub 24, like 23, and I don't know, 23 something.
Nice.
That's a tough run.
It is, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. That's an extremely runnable course, and I know there's it's definitely doable. I bonked hard at like 70, at like in between 60 and 70 miles.
Yeah,
I just locked up.
Right.
He was able to keep going. His pace definitely slowed down a lot in like the last 15 to 20 miles, and he was power hiking a ton, but he still was able to keep pace to keep that. So 24. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I know that we went out way too fast. We hit like 50 miles in like under 8 hours or something. 9 hours, and we were at the 100K mark by like, I don't know, 12 hours.
Yeah.
And for our first 100 miler,
to be on a 16-hour pace,
Yeah, right.
World class.
Right.
Like,
Thinking
you're gonna pay for that, boy.
thinking that we're something special or not or what, and we're like, no, you're
Like,
just
I feel great. Yeah.
you're just you're gonna get humbled real quick.
It's a truck pull, I call it. You're like, oh, we're doing great. You don't see, you're going forward. That thing is.
That's exactly what
It's a
happened,
full pull.
right? And then so then I bonked hard, and I was just suffering bad,
That's a real one. That's 60 to 70 to be like out.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back from that.
Well, so I was able to. I got new socks. I didn't change my shoes, but somebody. I was having bad blisters. I don't know if it was the shoes I was wearing, like Hoka Speed Goats.
Yeah.
But it just was not. I don't know if the socks were wrong or what. But
Socks were wrong.
I don't remember.
Right.
I've never had to wear tape though. Any kind of KT tape or any kind of tape to
I've never done either.
I've never done that.
Okay.
But at this race, I took my socks off at the crew area after 60 miles or maybe 80 miles, and bless her heart, Jackie Cox. I love this woman.
Oh yeah, nice.
Brandon knows Jackie.
Jackie, yep. Shout out to Jackie.
Shout out to Jackie Cox and Andrea Moore, who just
Andrea
finished Cocoa Monster.
Cocoa Monster.
She finished the Monster 300 and Coconut Under 250 this year.
Yep.
That was Andrea's third 250 finish.
That's awesome.
That woman's a bad woman.
Yep.
So Andrea is the crew chief of all crew chiefs. This woman is the captain.
Right.
She gets down there, and her and Brandy, I think, are there. Like Brandy Ray. Shout out to Brandy.
Brandy.
Oh, yeah. What's up? What's up, B? Yeah. Jackie literally tends to my feet, like, and they are nasty. Like she pops the blisters and all that jazz.
She's got the gift. I couldn't do it. I'm like, yo, man, walk it off.
She fixes my feet up. She cleans them. She puts the socks back on. She's like, all right, Justin. She prays over me, and she's like, get your butt back out there and finish this race, okay?
Nice.
So I pick up my last pacer. Shout out to Andrew Marvin. What's
Andrew
up, man?
Marvin.
Andrew Marvin.
What's good, big Andrew?
And we are definitely going to hit on the weed wobble, okay?
Yeah, he ain't stopping. I know that much.
Everybody,
You're gonna finish with him.
if you've been running in the Dallas-Fort Worth scene, you've probably heard about the weed wobble. I'm the guy that started the weed wobble, okay?
Yes. Justin Weed.
Andrew, he coined the wee wall because he found me at some point on that last loop walking at a 30-minute mile.
Dude,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, baby.
he found me surviving at a 30-minute mile.
Yeah.
I was slowly dying to my very last breath.
You're walking more sideways than forward.
I was literally like just like
covering more ground.
He's about to get DWI.
on the trails.
You're on 103 miles.
Not even in a car. That's his third.
It was so wild. So he looks back and he's like, Justin, if we don't pick up the pace just a little bit, at least maybe 24, 25-minute mile, we're not gonna make the cutoff. We're gonna finish like on Monday morning. Okay,
Yeah, man, click your heels together 3 times. That's all. Just like,
let's go, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
So I guess like
it happens.
I guess like Sunday morning come and like the dawn of the new day and the brightness, it revives me.
Boom.
And we get it. I finish in like 30 hours and a few minutes, but they had like rolling cutoffs or rolling start times. So I didn't. I think I got an official finish, but because they had the rolling cutoffs, I had started before the like sweeper got to me.
Yeah.
So I technically was not like the last person to finish. There was probably 10 people still behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first 100-mile finish.
Nice.
And it wasn't a DFL.
And it was not a DFL. No, it was not. It took a lot. Thank you. It took a lot to get me through that. A lot of prayers. It was insane.
And just for folks listening, like I'm not really trying to choose a race. Like my first 50K was Cleveland, and I didn't know if it was a tough course or not. I've been out running. I went up to Texoma a few weeks ago with Brandon and Nick and a few, and I didn't know anything about the place. Didn't know where they were running. Didn't know how far. It doesn't matter. I'm just follow Nick.
Yeah.
But still, what is if for somebody saying, okay, I'm going to run 100 miles. I've been doing this for a little bit. What are just give your perspective on some Texas options.
So there, as far as 100 milers,
Yeah. Rocky.
I've done Rocky. I've done Downhill Valley, Lake Murray, but that's up in Oklahoma though.
Yeah, I ran Murray. It's not really hilly. It's just can be
Lake
nasty.
Lake Murray, depending on
Actually, wait a minute.
Lake Murray is actually pretty challenging. To me, it is. It's got some steep inclines.
Probably because I was blind the whole time and I almost died doing it. I'm like, I can look back on it now. Like, I woke up in the parking lot the next day with my car running. So let me take all that back. I'm like, yeah, it rocked me, but I got through that. It wasn't 100 miles, but it was what did we run there? Crap. I'm just happy I'm out
50.
of there. Yeah, but.
Yeah, it was.
It was raining the whole time and mud the whole time.
Oh yeah,
cake batter from step one.
When I've run trails before. The one that Karen just held out at
Oh yeah,
at
good.
Big Cedar this past year.
Yeah, I did that one.
Good Lord, you would take one step and you would have like that much mud on the bottom of your feet.
Brandon was looking at me about to not run it, but I was like, yo, it's hailing right now. and then along the whole course, wasn't it? It was hail all on the course. There was ice everywhere. And then later on, it was hard to get up that first 5 miles because it's hills where you're going to take 3 steps up, slide down, hang onto a tree, slide down, walk up.
Yep.
But,
crazy.
Yeah.
And there were I think there was the guy or the person that that took the overall win for the 17, I think. They were
Who was that?
I think it was Greg, wasn't it? Ninja.
He did the third he did the middle race. There's 3 races, right?
Yes.
What was the guy who was running with his wife, and both of them ran pretty fast.
What was the shortest? 11 miles?
I think it was 11 miles. 11 miles, 22, and then
Greg did 22.
Yeah,
he did 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what about Brantley? Brantley would do 11. What did he do?
He I don't remember.
He probably won.
Yeah,
I'm
sure. Which one did you run?
I ran I think I did.
You did the same as me.
Yeah, I did the same as you.
I did the shortest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the short one. Yeah,
I
because
did
I
it.
had
The short one wasn't very short.
Yeah, I had something. What did I have coming? I think I had grasslands coming up.
Yeah,
I had grasslands like the next weekend.
Yeah.
So after I finished this 100 miler in 2021, then in 2022, I had signed up. Well, I got the second DWI in September for 2022 before Downhill Valley 100 miler.
Okay.
And I had already gone to a couple other races, I think, maybe, just to check them out, maybe. But so back to talk about this DWI. I was after I got out of work at FedEx on Saturday morning, before I left to go to the funeral of McKinney, I went and run around my neighborhood for like, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. I think I'd done like 14 miles or something. Nice. And then like up all day, go to the funeral, drink that night, and then attempt to drive home on very tired eyes. Right. After having been drinking too. So I put in my address to get home from where I was at. I think I was in Frisco, I think. Mm-hmm. Well, I started to get like really sleepy, and I wasn't able I was literally not able to pay attention to the GPS. I think I was using Waze, like the Waze app, and I wasn't able to, basically I felt like I was exiting on and off highways, and I didn't know which highway I was on, because I don't remember being able to look clearly at the phone to see where the directions are telling me to go. So I'm like, all right, I need to stop. I need to pull over. So I pull over, park in this empty parking lot. It's like a business parking lot, not being used, or it's not there. People like are not at work.
Right.
And I guess there's a patrol car, or there's a security patrol comes through. I'd already parked. I didn't see the guy. I'd parked inside the lines too, but I did not take the key out of the ignition.
Ooh.
And I'd forgot to do that. Oops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch. Womp womp. Yeah. No good. Always remember, if you've been drinking,
Take the key out
take
of the
the
ignition.
key out of the ignition. And even safer, don't not keep it in the driver's seat. Put it over in the passenger seat.
Yep.
So that way they can't give you, oh, well, you have intent to drive when the key is in the other side of the vehicle.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense, okay? Note to others that still drink and drive, or that still drink and they drive, and they need to go to sleep to make it home safe.
Don't drink and drive.
But yeah,
I was just looking at your grass lines tops here, but yeah.
Drinking and driving is a no-no.
23, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2358.
Nick Pedersen topped it, and then you come in down there.
Oh yeah, Nick's an animal.
He monstered that.
Yeah, he's a monster. He was like, I think that's top 8 for 100-mile finishes in the nation this year.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he made the mags with that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the security guy calls the city police. I think Killers. I believe it was Killer that responded, even though I was in like the South Lake, Westlake area. I guess they contract some of their, they do some of their contract out if they don't have enough, cops to patrol all the areas. And he does he knocks on the window, wakes me up, shines the light in the window. I come to, I go to turn the vehicle off or take the ignition key in ignition. He's like, no. Just roll your window down. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I already know what's going to happen. He's like, sir, so we got a call from a security patrol car that there's a suspicious vehicle here in the parking lot. What are you doing? I had I'm just sleepy. I'm just trying to I'm trying to get enough rest before I keep on driving back home to where I live in Saginaw. He's like, so where have you been at this tonight before you got here? And I told him, well, I went to a funeral. I went out for a couple of drinks. After the funeral was done, I told him I'd been awake for a long time since I worked night shift. He was like, the last time that when was the last time that you had a drink? Like, it's like from now, how far along or ago was it? Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so before now. He was like, okay, I can still smell alcohol on your breath a little bit. So let's go ahead and get you out of the vehicle, and we're going to do a field sobriety test and just make sure that you're okay to drive.
Yeah.
Definitely did not pass those. I tried my best. It just was not happening. I passed some of them, but not enough for him to feel safe to allow me to keep on driving home. So lesson learned for the final and last time when I got arrested, and I was 2/10 under legal limit too after I got my official BAC levels back. But it is what it is. When I found myself in the Killer City jail on Sunday morning, and I was not highly intoxicated at all. I didn't feel drunk at all. I just was extremely tired. And at that point, I asked God. I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. This has got to stop.
Yeah.
I can't keep living this kind of lifestyle up and down. So I asked him, you take the reins. Because obviously things have not been working out in my favor the way that I have wanted them to in the past years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, please take the desire of alcohol away from me to drink it.
And that's the benefit of failing. Like when I have no other place to look.
Right.
Sometimes it's that God puts me there, so I don't have that confidence in myself. I can only look to Christ.
Yeah.
because you can look nowhere else.
Right.
And
Exactly.
he says, "That's what I died for."
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And
That's
I
amazing. That's amazing.
I have had no withdrawals, and I had zero desire to pick up another sip from that night forward. So,
Oh, nice.
so September 5th technically
Dude.
is the first day that I was completely free of alcohol. But the last time I took a sip was September 4th,
In 21,
2022.
22.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So I'm coming up
Good job.
this year. Thank you. This year will be 3 years in September.
The crazy thing is, I don't know if you know this, but we met back when I first started running trails. Because one day, I think I knew Tom and then Denny, some folks who got me started sort of in it, and it was Denny who ran out at Sansom. And so
Yeah.
one day I said, let me go find a different park. And so I pull up at this place. Is it Fort Sansom or Sansom? Marie Sansom?
It's that.
It's all that? Fort
Sansom.
Marie Sansom?
Yeah. Something like that.
SANSOM, put it that way. It's
Yes.
near Fort Worth or in
Yes.
Fort Worth. Anyway, and so I see this kid coming out the woods wearing all white. And I was like, all right, so it's just me and him out here. Let me see what this is about. And we just started chopping it up. That was a strange. Who would have no idea that we'd be sitting here. I mean, just totally random day. And I just happened over to Fort Worth because I was fishing in the Trinity just outside downtown.
Yeah.
I love fishing right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And there's gators in there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, because I'm near the bank, that little park right before you get into downtown, and I see this thing swimming like that. I'm like, well, check these beavers out. Then I thought, hey, beavers don't move so elongated and smooth and snake-like, and the back of that tail. And I thought, oh my gosh! And where I'm standing, bless you. Those jokers can see you. They're just sitting up on the wire like, should we just go ahead and Discovery Channel this fool now or what? Because I can see him just coming up. So I back up away from them. But the long story is that we met out at Sansom and just started talking about this, what are you doing? And I ended up just doing some loops in that crazy hill right there.
Yes.
You get to the top of it, right, where the people are
washout.
picnicking. Okay.
Yeah. The washout. I actually was doing some washout repeats this morning. Actually,
That's
Oh,
good
wow.
training, man.
yeah,
That's good.
it is. It really is.
This is more than 100 meters, I
Oh
think.
yeah, it's probably. I would say that's about 0.22 miles up, coming up.
Really?
Yeah, and then it's about the same going down. And
It's great training.
You can get about 250 feet of vert going up.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
4 times 1,000. So if you can spend a 5,000 day out there, you've done work.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
So tell me about the sub 24.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Grasslands 100-miler.
Yeah.
So let's start with packet pickup. Okay.
Okay.
I go up to Trailhead Running Supply, and Barnwell's there,
Nice.
and
Shout out to Ann.
shout out to and Chris. We just saw them. They were on the podcast before me today.
Yep.
She's well aware of my running coming up to Grasslands. She knows that I have predominantly gone out like way too fast in years past. And she tells me, and she knows my other finishes too. They've been my other 400-miler finishes have been anywhere from 29 hours and 12 minutes all the way up to 31 hours and like 47 minutes, which is Lake Murray 100-miler back in, was that October of last year? That was my first DFL.
Yeah.
I was 13 minutes away from not hitting the cutoff.
Oh, but you got it.
But I got it though, done.
Got it.
So Ann tells me at the pickup, she's like, Justin, we need to have a come to Jesus meeting, okay? And I was like, oh my,
Sounds like it.
uh-oh, what is it now? She tells me, I know that you spend way too long at aid stations. In no uncertain terms, get your shit and get the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse my French there, but that's basically like what she said. She's like, if you need to have your flask out before you get there, have them out, okay?
Yeah.
Don't linger. You can eat and walk away from the aid station.
Yeah.
You don't have to stand there and finish eating before you leave.
Right.
Get in, get what you need,
Yeah.
put them back in,
Yep.
grab some stuff on the way out, and boom.
Dude, you know how rotten you would have felt without that advice? 2 minutes
Right.
at a freaking aid station. I mean,
Yes.
and it's easy. 2 minutes over 10 stops.
Right.
You could have easily, if you hadn't been focused, you'd have run a good race, but you'd have missed the 24.
Right. Exactly. So I finally opened my wisdom and I was able to be humbled, and I listened for once.
Man.
Amazing when you actually listen to others that have done these things before.
Right.
You did it in a hard age group. That 40 to 49 in trail running is no joke. It's just the things are starting to creep younger, though. As you
Yes.
notice, you're
Yes,
seeing
they are.
20s now. 20 never showed up anywhere.
Yeah.
20s show up, but the prime is at 30 to 39.
Right.
Right where the neck
Exactly.
is. And the 50s is a guy up there in third place. Who
Right.
still present always. But that
Right.
40 is like, that's
Th-
good
th-
on
there's-
on a flat course to get 8 in there when dudes are just flying. That's pretty good, man.
right. So I finally, I listened, basically, and I also pre-mixed my race fuel. Shout out to BPN.
VPN.
BPN sucks with made by Nick Bear.
Yeah, really good
We're
plan.
doing Nick is hosting his first last person standing event right now, actually at Bear Ranch in Austin.
Yep.
And so yeah, I've become a big fan of a lot of his products, Go Bars, Go Gels, G1 of Sport, Whey Protein. So yeah, those are good.
Nice.
Creatine.
I was just about to say, crap, my theory is busted. My theory, I said, there's a woman always in every time. And sure enough, number 6, Lindsay Duffield. Everybody knows her.
Shout out to Lindsay. She is a badass.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. This is the one sport where there are no divisions per se. It's just people running.
Right.
And this is the only sport where there will always be a mix of men and women in the top 10.
Exactly. Yeah.
From elite level down.
Right.
Like
that's yeah.
you can't get that in NBA. You can't
No.
get it in track and field. Can't
No.
get it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is, man.
So I mixed up G1 of Sport in like 3 different 1-gallon containers. I kept them all in this big insulated cooler to keep them cool. That way, every time I would come into my career area, I wouldn't even have to stop at the main aid station. I would come straight in. I would, if my flask were empty, I would take the top off, like fill it up, boom. I get back. I put the nutrition. And then Lindsay's husband Dan had this filtered filtered water system.
Yeah.
Out of it was a big. It was a spigot at the bottom, and you just open it up, and you would just fill your flask up from there with water.
Nice.
So I literally did not stop at the main aid station once for the entire.
So you're able to
100
maintain
nice.
continuous motion
job.
for the most part.
Yes, exactly. Now, I think it may have gone a little bit quicker if I had bought enough flask and I already had that filled up for every single loop.
Waiting for you. Yeah.
Waiting for me, but I didn't. I just didn't. Maybe I didn't have
That's
enough
a
money.
whole lot of.
That's a lot of prep work. That's a lot of. I didn't have enough money, right, to buy all those separate flasks.
Yeah, and that's why I like this sport is your feet on dirt and shit. But because once you start getting gear heavy, then it starts to separate who's got the money, who doesn't.
Right, exactly. At some point I think I will start to acquire some more things, but
we start sacrificing after a while.
yeah, exactly.
It's not like
Yeah.
2 years on a bike after you start. You're like, well, you start on this, but you're going to need the $15,000 bike.
Right,
Just
exactly.
because, like, that's what everybody's riding.
Right.
And you're like, what?
there's so many different brands out there for nutrition, clothing, shoes, you name it. Everyone has their own take on what works for them.
Yeah.
What I use with
That's why they're
BPN
right.
may not work for somebody. They may gravitate towards Honey Stinger, Huma, Spring. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever gets you to your finish line, then go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't gotta
Practice that and get your system down.
Some people do more better on solid foods. Some people don't do solid foods at all.
Yep.
So who am I to say, So and then I air fried a ton of potatoes. I put tahini and sea salt in these bags, and then I air fried them, and then I put them in separate baggies. Oh, they tasted so good. But I think I air fried them a little bit too long though, because they were kind of they were a bit crunchy and not as soft as I wanted them to be.
You want the soft and salt
Right,
delivery.
but the flavor was excellent though.
Nice.
And then I made many. I took this advice from shout out to Meg Eckert. Meg Eckert is she completed 6 days in France on a loop. She
600
broke
miles.
she broke Camille Herron's record, 603 miles in 6 days.
That's crazy.
Mind y'all, that is 100-mile per day.
And more than 100 miles on a lot of those days.
When do you find time to rest and maintain that pace for that many days in a row? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just
Who's done that before?
We're trying to get her on the podcast.
Oh, you have?
We're trying to.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Who's done that before? As their
Camille Herron.
And is that a general record or is it a women's record?
That was a women's
Females.
record.
Yeah.
The male has like she would have had to get to like 650 or something. Something like that.
Not far. I thought.
Yeah, she wasn't far.
Damn, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, but I mean that's just still
6
incredible.
days, 100 miles, man. People can't do that.
It's just I don't know. It's
Monsters can do that.
Right, exactly. So she was Trailhead hosted her. She actually did a demo on these new road shoes called Mount to Coast, which I actually bought a pair of Mount to Coast, and they are phenomenal road shoes that I've been wearing so far.
Got the
Love
R
them.
ones.
I've been looking to try those.
Yeah, they are
I
great.
got
They're not
I
out
got
the
a
trail
pair-
shoe yet, but
Yeah, I think
Not on shelves, yeah.
I think the trail shoe is coming out in next month. It's the T1 version.
yeah.
She's coming back, I think, to demo those.
Oh, she is sick. Oh,
Yeah, that's when we were trying to get her on the podcast.
Heck yeah. I definitely want to. I'm going to get a pair of those. And then I saw somebody out of Cocodona, 250. He wore a prototype called it's an H1 from Mount to Coast. It's a hybrid of road and trail. He finished the 250 in those shoes. And he said those are coming out in like October to the public.
Okay.
So looking forward to those two as well. So when she was being interviewed after we did the demo run at Trailhead Running Supply, Jason was asking her, Jason Hamill, he was asking her.
Shout out to Jason.
Oh yeah.
Brother Jay.
He was interviewing her about just a lot of stuff about her running career, like how she got into it, and also asking her. She was in a week after that. She was doing 100-miler. Forget which one it was. Up in I don't remember, but it was somewhere up towards like Idaho or like Montana, somewhere up in there, and and he was asking her, so what kind of solid foods do you like to eat on those long 100-milers? She told him turkey sliders. I think it was mini turkey sliders. She likes mayonnaise, I believe, on hers. I don't like mayonnaise at all. I like mustard.
That's how you know it's personal. The mayonnaise, that'd be gastro
I cannot.
mad on
I
the
cannot.
trail.
I can't do mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise,
So
golly.
I can definitely do mustard though. So I think it was right. It was mini turkey sliders on just like Hawaiian little mini rolls or buns.
Yeah.
And then I did avocado on the whole thing. A couple of slices of turkey, black pepper. Gotta have black pepper. Black pepper is my favorite seasoning ever. I will literally coat food with black pepper.
Right.
It's that good.
Yep.
And then I made a ton of those for grasslands, and then I obviously used my Go barbs from BPN, and I used the Go gels, and that's all the nutrition that I basically ate. And then I grabbed things from the aid stations here and there, but not much though. Lindsay's husband Dan gave me some. I think he had some quesadillas, that he had grilled up there in their tent area, and I think they had some sort of banana nut bread. Oh, the banana nut bread was so delicious. Oh man, it was so good. And that was really all that I ate, and then plus my G1 Sport in my flask, and then I shout out to these patches right here on my forearms.
Shout out to Patches.
Super patch.
Oh, barely visible, man. What do they? Is that like endurance? I mean, it's like electrolyte type.
Show right there. That camera. Yeah, there you go.
What are they full of?
There's your
So
super patches.
these are non-invasive like hypoallergenic.
Yes, yeah.
They do
You can
not-
barely freaking see them on you. Like
They do not have.
you see it on me.
There, focus, freedom.
They do not get Liberty.
Oh, I
got
see.
Wow.
Ignite helps to
Different
helps with weight loss.
purposes for-
Yeah. So what's crazy about
Victory.
these? Exactly. I wore the Liberty out there
and the
at
Boost.
The Boost is for the energy, and so these don't have any ingredients in them.
Oh, really?
There's no
It's just,
chemical.
it's just a mental. Like
Th-
what
there's it's actually technology.
I just believe. Okay.
It's actually, so the creator, I don't know how to pronounce Jay's last name, but he started with his mom. His mom had MS, and he wanted to see, was there a way to help her outside of the normal process, the normal medications.
So is it electro?
So he has engineering type technology background, and he wanted to see, could he create something that would connect, repair the neurological pathways that connects those to certain illnesses, and he found out a way to create data or embed certain neurocodes into these patches
To send signals.
and send the signals from once they hit the skin, they attach to the nerves. The nerves transmit the code up to the brain. The brain processes it, tells the body what to do. So you have energy, you have focus, you have balance, stability,
And no
agility.
counteractions and interactions in between.
No, they don't cross any of each other, because you have thousands and
It's what your
millions-
brain's already doing. It's just amping or
Exactly.
signaling. Yeah.
Your brain has your body has millions of neurological pathways, so they never
See, I'm
cross
gonna
each
take a
other.
picture.
You're gonna be passed
Now,
out.
these on the shelf, somebody you can order only
No,
online.
you can't order these. Can't go to like Kroger's or like a sports store. You actually have to order them through somebody that has a website, like myself.
Oh, cool.
Solid. Good luck.
So I put.
So he doesn't have his own. He just says through people who have.
Yes,
Oh, that's good.
exactly. It's a network marketing company.
Got it.
Or direct sales, basically.
Yeah.
So Grasslands was the first hunter, or the first really big adventure into me seeing how these patches could they really help me with my time.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'd already seen where there were professional athletes, using this
Sure,
stuff. And look up the Kansas City. There's a coach that was interviewed from the Kansas City Chiefs that some of his players were using these.
Oh yeah.
And so I threw these patches on. They're good for 24 hours. Obviously, you don't want to have the sleep on the REM for sleep. You don't want to have that on during the day, because when you put it on, it's going to make you feel sleepy.
And that's that dream sleep too.
Yeah,
that REM sleep.
It's that real deep sleep. And I put these patches on before I started the race. I put them on my forearms, so if I needed to pull my sleeves up, I could check to see where they sticking, right?
Yeah.
And they stuck the entire time. I was surprised that the sweat didn't get up under them, and it didn't make them peel off. So and I didn't have to change them out at all. And I found that I wasn't getting tired like I have in years past in 100 milers. I wasn't. I was more stable. I was more focused and dialed in. I knew exactly what I needed, at each aid station. Shout out to my pacers, Matt and Ryan, like Matt Cook.
Matt and Ryan.
Matt Cook.
Right there.
And Matt Cook, he paced the first mile, not the first, but the first section for like 20 miles, I believe. And then Ryan Solier, he paced the last 30 miles, I believe.
Ryan Solier.
Ryan Solier. His coach is Joe Corsiane.
Corsiane.
I think that's how you say his last name. Ryan was phenomenal at pacing. He made sure that I had my flask out before I got to aid stations. He would take them, and he would, if I needed to go get something to eat or go to the restroom, he would get my flask filled up before, and that way it would reduce the time I was at the aid station, and then get back out. So I was much more dialed in and focused and attentive to what I needed to be doing at various points. I never had to sleep for this at all during this 100 miler. I was just go. Energy was consistent, through and through. Yeah, and I didn't. I wore the freedom, the boost, the focus, and the liberty. And then I PR'd by 5 hours and 14 minutes. So to go from the previous 400 milers, nothing below 29 hours, all the way to 23 hours and 58 minutes, I think that says something, like phenomenal about what I just had used. I mean, there's really no other way to, negate what I just felt and what I just experienced.
Nice.
So
What do you got in the future coming up?
this weekend I've got Achilles Hill, 48 hours. I'm going for 150 miles.
All right, Ben Bridgman.
Let's go to Bridgman.
Sounds good. Hey, so we're 28 minutes past, so we're going to close up this podcast.
Sick.
But before we go, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What is your favorite movie?
Oh man, all-time favorite. I'm gonna have to go with Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
There you go, man.
Le balade de Ricky Bobby. Prendre à droite, Monsieur Ricky. Prendre à droite.
Well, Justin, it was very nice
Yes,
for you
sir.
to be our guest, and thank you for coming out.
Thank y'all very much for hosting me. It was a pleasure
Good,
talking about
man. Good to chop it up a bit on a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
And helpful for me personally, even in the context of, I got to get this 100-miler off me this year, man.
Yeah, man.
This is only my second with that year in it, but that bug is hit. I mean,
We'll come out to Down the Valley and do it with Brandon. I'm gonna pace him for the whole time I can pace him.
He's gonna pace me down.
good looking.
Yeah, man, that'll be fun.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna close out this podcast. Thank you again, Justin. All right.
Yeah.
Se acabó
Awesome.
lueguito, ya. Nos vemos. Got it done. 3 in the can.
Yeah. Biting fanboy. I can put these on my little running ice system.
I was trying to empty this thing because I figured out it fits my phone perfectly. So I'm going to fortify it and use it as my phone case. That's some undercover type nonsense.
Like that.
I run with this phone because it's so easy and on the wheels.
My girlfriend says